conference is actually very good so far. I mean, we had a packed room in the morning. We had a very good panel on 100G already, which sparked a lot of discussions. I think that's going to be the main theme of the conference. So looking forward to it. Beyond 100G, I think we need to talk a little bit more about all the management systems. There's still this debate with MPLS-TP going on, and I think people also just don't want to look at the 100G technology by itself, but also the platform as a whole, right? So when we talk to vendors, I think 100G is key. The economics of 100G are very important, but at the same time, we want to look at this end-to-end. So I think, we also want to hear this from, the other telcos and the vendors. So 100G, we did a very successful test last year in late August, early September, where we ran a 100G service over our ultra-low latency route between Frankfurt and London, which runs at 4.22 milliseconds. So that was very successful, and since then we've been working with our main vendors towards deploying 100G in the network. I think the main challenge, and we heard this at the panel in the morning, were the economics. I think we've been pushing the vendors hard. So that's just me or Colt. It's the industry as a whole pushing vendors hard to reduce the price per bit of the 100G solutions. And at the same time, we're looking at solutions that can fill our customer needs. So both, from a scale point of view, for metro services also, to connect our data center, for cloud services. It's not just, being driven by bandwidth demand for video and broadcast services, but it's also all the other elements that you need to interconnect. And at the same time, I think we also need not to forget about things like 40G and OTN. Even though they may turn out to be niche markets, they're not completely dead yet. So I think there's maybe still a way to go for them. I think we've seen also at the panel, especially with the other vendors, the partners, the service providers, that everybody's gearing up for 100G. So it's still very early days. I think the deployments are still very limited. We'll probably see, I think, if the economics again work well, an uptake in late 2012, but mostly probably 2013, 2014. This is when we see, I think, most of the markets gearing up for all of this. And I think, as Andrew mentioned, in his introduction in the morning, we also see this somehow combined with a full kind of reboot. He called it a reboot or a full network refresh, trying to introduce packet optical at the same time in the network and making sure we can manage, a combined packet optical / OTN network going forward. This is, I think, very important also. Well, I think the birds are still 100G, that's the topic of the interview, right? But I think also people want to do more on the network automation side. It's also about being able to deliver, services faster, managing SLA end-to-end, and I think, they also want to, as an industry, as a telco, want to challenge the providers more, not just talk, bits and bytes and technology, but at the same time also make sure that, you can buy an end-to-end solution, have the right platform to serve your customers. And I think, the industry is also converging like we do. So we've been pushing or kind of trying to educate the industry that we cannot keep stacking networks and that network integration is key. And you start to see that where, packet vendors are doing more optical and optical vendors doing more packet. And actually that's good for the industry because, we see that we cannot keep stacking networks going forward.